Hey guys, Waddler-D. We're back for more Super Bomberman 2. And this next stage, the Caprius Castle, as I like to call it, aka the Amusement Park stage, is where the game starts to really throw the gimmicks at you and make for a unique single-player experience. However, I will say this is where the game starts to kick your ass a little bit, especially if you don't figure out some of their gimmicks, mainly the trampolines here. We also have these two particular enemies, the Guardies, which are the floating steel eyeballs, and the Poyo mold. Yes, I'm not kidding, it's called Poyo, with an O, not a U. And the Guardies are not much of a threat if you figure out how to kill them. It's by a magical switch that apparently looks a lot different from the other ones, and trust me, you want to try to go for those switches when you can. We'll talk more about Guardies later. Poyo moles are definitely where you're going to have a bit of trouble on this stage, because these guys have a interesting technique. They burrow into the ground and then come up. Luckily for you, that there is a set pattern where they come up, so once you kind of keep watch on them and figure out exactly how they move around, you might be able to get the jump on them and kick their ass, which you definitely need to do. Also, Bomb Kick is really freaking useful here, and you're definitely going to make some good use of it on this stage, and definitely on the next stage. Screw that damn machine. Now, this next stage coming up is where the game starts to introduce more of the Guardie gimmick to you. And not to mention we get a nice little mechanic of the cannon. Those things kind of kick ass, honestly. We'll definitely show that off, because we don't have much of a choice. Guardies are one of the few enemies in this game, if possibly the only enemy that will be immune to your explosions throughout, and toss bombs as well. So you're gonna have to kill them by the switches. And this is the first stage where it doesn't have the usual door switch mechanic. It's just purely killing all the enemies here, because that's the puzzle. I kind of like that the game's really changing it up a bit. Here's a nice showcase of the trampolines. If you're wondering, is the water bad for Bomberman? Yes, it is incredibly bad. In fact, this is an instant death if Bomberman touches the water. It doesn't matter how many hearts he has in his pocket, he will die instantly. So you want to be very, very aware of the trampoline physics in this stage, because if you don't get used to it, you're gonna get to a particular level in this stage and fucking throw your controller at the screen every time, because that's where it starts to get ridiculous. And if your controller's a piece of shit like mine kind of was, yeah, I would definitely get to a keyboard or something that's gonna be more reliable. And trust me on this one, you don't want to have a controller where it's like left is up on accident and just send Bomberman to a freaking wrong area. Now this next level is another unique level, because it's another stage another level without any door switches. It's all about clearing out the enemies, and the Poyo tanks are easily one of the more dangerous enemies here, mainly because of that. They have bullets that they can shoot at you, and it's a very fast attack. If you pretty much get in their line of fire, they will shoot. It doesn't matter if they're facing the opposite direction or what, they will shoot. So you want to be very careful. I mean, it doesn't matter if you're close even. They will shoot. Good news is once you kill the tank, you just have the Poyo, which tends to be a really dumbass enemy, and you can take it out easily. Now, this stage is also a great stage because you get to frickin' get a heart, which is going to be very necessary here with all the shit that this level's going to throw at you. You're going to really need to be careful. Also, the tank bullets can hurt the Poyos too, so that's fucking amazing. I love that mechanic, because it's going to just make this level a lot less painful for you. And for some reason, when you bomb the doors here, they don't seem to spawn any enemies, which kind of interests me a little bit. Maybe because there's no switches in this level, which thank God there is not, because I would not want to deal with more Poyo tanks appearing out of nowhere. 3-4 is definitely a cooldown from all the shit that you've been through so far. No death pits, no tough enemies, you just have these things called flops. I'm not making up these names, guys. These are the official names. Flops are pretty much as you expect. Penguins that like to slide, and you want to be aware of that sliding feature. Good news is that you can take advantage of that slide. But for right now, let's try to clean out as much as we can with these blocks. And if you happen to keep the piercing bombs, it makes this level even quicker, because you can just pretty much blow them away, no problem. There's a nice example of the flop's only attacking ability, and how you can take advantage of it, because it really does set them up to be destroyed in like a few seconds. That's the beauty of it, and they don't seem to be very smart and move in random directions, so you can kind of take advantage of that. There is a nice example of why I love Bomb Kick. If you trap yourself, Bomb Kick's there to save your ass, which I kind of wish Bomb Kick is a starting ability that Bomberman had, but that would make the game easier. Not that much easier, but easier. 4-5 is even a bigger cooldown than that other level, because you get introduced to this guy. This guy is a pretty pathetic enemy. There is not much that can be said about Nemu, except that he is pretty much a walking target. I mean, there's not much that can be said about him other than he is probably one of the easiest enemies in the game to kill. All he does is walk around and snore and sleep. And this lethargic nature of his is pretty much going to be his sincere downfall. Now, if you're wondering why I was walking through tiles, Bomb Walk, I just picked that shit up, and I love Bomb Walk, because Bomb Walk makes these levels even faster to clear, because Bomberman can literally just walk through all the soft block tiles. And that's going to be very useful, not so much here, but definitely in the next stage. Granted that you keep yourself alive for it. And there's a nice example of why Nemu is a piece of shit. I wouldn't even need to use remote bombs to do that setup, because he just literally trapped himself in the worst corner in this stage. It's just hilarious how crappy that enemy is, but be thankful for that, because that crappy enemy is gonna give you a bit of breathing room, and also give you more sanity. This level is where your sanity is going to pretty much take a nosedive, because this level is probably one of the hardest levels in this stage. Mainly because of the mechanic that you're going to have to bear with. Remember about me telling you should probably master the trampolines? Yeah, now you see why I said that. Oh fuck, picked up that shit. These trampolines are just literally all over the place, and of course the game decides to throw you in a pretty nasty situation where you're pretty much stuck with these things called futa. I do not know why the hell they called it a futa, but nevertheless, they are also pretty annoying enemies. And here's a nice example of you better be mastering these trampolines, because if you don't, fuck. Yeah, there's a good example of me just getting iced over like that. Have fun with that, guys, because this level may very well end all your lives in a matter of seconds. Not to mention these damn futa are going to also cause a bit of mayhem and panic because of their ability to walk through soft tiles. That's pretty nasty, and they're not dumb enemies either. They pretty much can be very ruthless in their movements. Luckily, all they do is move back and forth. They thankfully do not move in random directions. So you can kind of predict where they're going to be stopping and going, and at that point you can find a place to set your bomb. But this futa up here is going to give you the worst problems, granted you can actually make it up there, because these damn trampolines, I just don't want to see a mechanic where if you fuck up, you have to deal with the consequences of totally dying. This is why I hate this stage with extreme passion. I mean, it's a fun gimmick until somebody gets hurt. And yeah, you'll be getting hurt a lot in this level. You'll be losing probably a number of lives just from this section alone. Because not only do you have to jump on the right side of the trampolines to get to the other side, you you also have to do it to get to the left side, and there's also this risk where you could possibly jump over the other side by accident when you're on the left side, and that's a pain in the ass. That is a literal pain in the ass. But other than that, oh shit, no, fuck. God, I hate these enemies. I hate this stage. I hate this level. But if you persevere through all of the anguish you experience in this level and find a way to master the trampolines and to master your bomb placement and movement, you will definitely learn a lot from this level and actually kick a lot of ass here, because you're gonna need every bit of that. Trust me. Because this level not only takes a while to complete due to its complexities and gimmick spam, but it also has a nice hidden surprise once you get even through all the enemies. And trust me, this nice surprise was not a fun discovery when I came across it. I was like, are you fucking shitting me? Yeah, you'll see in a moment. Get the fuck in that corner. Okay, it takes care of that guy. And then, of course, the Nemo should not be much of a threat because, seriously, they sit in place for 10 snores, apparently. 10 snores, so every time they open their mouth is considered a snore. Consider them just sitting there for 10, probably a full minute. You're gonna have an easy time kicking their ass. Alright, this is probably the toughest part right here. Jeez. Okay, so once you get through that mess and deal with and get over on this side, you have a bit of a puzzle on your hands. You have to find a way to blow these up without killing yourself, because you have not a lot of room, and that's kind of the tricky part, honestly. But luckily, once you get the first detonation done and you blow away one of the blocks, you get pretty much closer and closer to the door without a problem. And then you get introduced to this fuck. What the hell is this thing? This thing has literally pushed me over the other side because I was so freaked out. Mini Bomberman. I do not know what to say about this thing, but this thing is freaking me out. I really don't know what it is, but I would not recommend touching it. Just try to get away from it, especially if you don't have a heart to lose. And just be careful when you're trying to come back here if you happen to jump in the worst kind of direction. Nice that they give me the piercing bombs, and I'm gonna just annihilate this godforsaken thing, whatever that was. Okay, I'm all done with 3-6. Thank God. 3-7. Now we get to get introduced to Pretty Bomber. And Pretty Bomber doesn't have much of a pose, just blinking. I guess she's trying to put her feminine wiles in place. And honestly, this fight can be very easy or very hard, because those heart bombs, I believe, seem to just move around and attract towards you, but unfortunately they seem to also always hit Pretty Bomber, especially if she's in a confined space with those heart bombs moving about. And that can make for a pretty easy fight. Just stay far away from her bombs and herself while she's laying them. Once you get past that, you get to fight. What do we get to fight? Whoa, what the fuck? Angry Sun. No, this thing is called Mass Change, and honestly, I kind of don't know if the sun's really angry. If anything, it's more of a flirty sun, which is scaring the shit out of me. This boss's attacks are just these flying hearts. I do not know what the hearts do. I don't want to get touched by them, though. However, if you do break the hearts, the sun actually does become very pissed off and irate and starts homing onto your position. That's where you need to be very careful and try to find ways to avoid getting hit by the sun. And of course, the sun will just gladly cause a bit of problems with your bombs by running over them, because, you know, saw blades, holy shit. So while the sun is not a terribly hard boss, this can be a tricky fight, especially if you seem to have misplaced your remote bombs. But As you can see, you can still beat the shit out of this boss just fine. All you just have to do is give the boss its needed space, and then do as much damage as you can, because this boss doesn't take an extreme amount of hits to kill. But once you blow up the Angry Sun, you get this kind of sad pose, and Bomberman doesn't really celebrate, or there's no happy music. I can't blame it, it's just like, Bomberman, you did that. Feel bad, buddy. Feel bad. Now that we're done with stage 3, we get to the factory stage, and God, I'm feeling so much better that I don't have to go jumping on trampolines here, but this definitely looks to be a unique level coming up. So next time, factory stage and Brain Bombers. So thanks for watching, have a great day, and adios.